Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the TeamB Wrestling Show. This is the WWE Extreme Rules 2016 post-show. How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen, out there in the YouTube universe? Yeah. And we're going to give you the results here. But overall, what do you think of the pay-per-view? Is it worth watching? Worth your time, Bill?
Well, dude, I'd give it about a C. I mean, it wasn't bad and it wasn't that good. I mean, one good match all the way through it. So, and a buzzkill part of it. So, I'll give it a C for the watch.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to eat a sandwich and let Bill start off with the first match.
All right.
My name's Bernie Sanders, and I watch and support bootleg DVDs.
Well, thanks, Bullet B. Bill Mack here, the other half of Team B, and like I said, Extreme Rules. Kickoff Show had one matchup. Kickoff Show, we had the Lone Wolf Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. Decent match. I'm swearing Dolph Ziggler's becoming more and more like Shawn Michaels. He come out there tonight with the Bret Hart colored pink, white, and red, black tights and shirt on. That's the first time I've ever seen Ziggler fight with his shirt on. Actually, he didn't even take his shirt off. He actually wrestled with it on. Reminds me of Sting. Decent back.
Reminds me of Sting.
He did. Yeah. In the older days, he quit wrestling. He wrestled down with his shirt on. Anyway, folks.
TNA Sting.
Yeah, it was a DQ. It was a no DQ match. So we kind of figured something was going to happen in this, and good, decent match back and forth here. Ziggler come up with a high spot, went for the match, came at an ending when Ziggler went for the super kick, Shawn Michaels 2.0 super kick, and Corbin moved out of the way. Ziggler comes down awkward. Baron Corbin hits him between the legs, ends up putting him in the end of days, and 1, 2, 3. Baron Corbin is your winner of the pre-show matchup. So that is first matchup, the only matchup on the Kickoff Show. However, Big Cass ends up destroying both Dudley Boys during the Kickoff Show.
He had him some honey. He had him some honey roast.
I got that kind. I got that kind today.
Big Cass. Yeah. How you doing? That's what they be eating right there, man.
I got that kind of day, man. That was some good.
Best flavor peanut butter.
So, folks, ladies and gentlemen, so that ends your Kickoff Show as forever the beautiful, gorgeous Renee Young was hosting, looking beautiful as always. We come up to the WWE Extreme Rules card. The very first match we have is, oddly enough, the tag team matchup. You have the Club, Gallows Anderson versus the Usos, the Bloodline, I guess that's what they're called now.
Didn't we see that match on Raw, man? Didn't we see that on Raw?
It's been on Raw. It's been on SmackDown. It might have been on Superstars. It could have been on Main Event. But they've been wrestling like forever. And actually, odd enough this time is the Usos actually did not win. You have the Club actually coming out with the win because they hurt the Usos. I'm surprised the Usos made it back, which they were the very first thing, so they had time to heal up. But good match.
Because the Club lost to the Usos this past Monday night, and I was like, no, you got to keep the Club strong once in a while. You're new. Yeah, so I'm glad they won tonight.
Yeah, well, that kind of helps, even though they lost a lot of the Raw matches. And good pay-per-view match is always a good match.
They won it when it mattered. They won.
Right. So that was the Club versus the Usos. Club won. Up next is for the U.S. title. We see the U.S. champion, Kalisto, badly hurt from last week's devastating, as we talked about on the Raw show, that devastating, what is that movie calls it? It looks like the Camel Clutch, sort of. What is that movie calls it?
Who does it?
Rusev, his move. When he stops you on the back and
pretty much the Camel Clutch, man.
Yeah. Well, he ends up on this matchup. He drops Kalisto on halfway outside the ring, and he lands hard on the outside of the ring mat. And the referee didn't look like he was hurt for real, because the referee kept running over to Kalisto, and he was looking, checking his head, even had the doctor. But Rusev, I don't know if that was storyline, because Rusev kept, because Rusev was nothing but dominating in this match. I mean, Kalisto got a few of his little Hurricane Rana flips and stuff, and that was about it with him. Basically, Rusev dominated the match. He goes out there, and while Kalisto's down, he keeps stomping at his back. He ends up, dude, he looked like he could have just pulled him up as far back as he went. Kalisto ends up tapping out. Your new champion, new U.S. champion is the Bulgarian Brute, Rusev.
He tapped out to the accolade.
The accolade.
Right?
Okay, good. Accolade. Yeah, that's a devastating move for him because the man is very small. Rusev is very big, so he pretty much.
See, Kalisto's flexible. He can bend and stretch like Stretch Armstrong, but it's still dangerous. Yeah, but he's one that can do it, I guess.
He was very short, man. But the dominating performance by Rusev, I guess they're making him the dominant heel yet again, which is good. About time for to bring him back. He could do that. Just make him fight a bunch of small, weaker guys, make him seem like he's Brute again. Up next, by far the biggest pop of the night, you have the New Day, the current WWE Tag Team Champions. As
WWE World Tag. That's World Wrestling Entertainment World Tag Team Champion. World Wrestling Entertainment World Heavyweight Champion Roman Noodle. A lot of titles there, buddy.
Yeah, they were going facing the Vaudevillians, which we've seen over the past few weeks has been kind of a good feud for them since Enzo and Kaz aren't able to compete. But New Day had a good day at the top. The crowd was cheering right along with them. A good promo in the ring before by Xavier Woods and the rest of New Day. This was actually a good match. I actually thought this was a pretty decent match for a tag team match between New Day. Vaudevillains and New Day, both of them kind of flip-flop back and forth, which is a decent. It wasn't one-sided. Yeah,
made some personalities on both sides there. I like the Vaudevillains.
Yeah,
and I like. Well, it's a nice mashup there.
And it's something different. It's something different, which is what you like because they create that old 1930s look when they come to the ring and pose and stuff.
Broadway, Hollywood, when it mattered.
Exactly. So it was a really good
America.
Yeah. So
it built America.
It was a good matchup, but and the thing is we've seen the New Day ended up coming out on top. Defeating Big E, done a lot of the work this time. A lot of diving through the ring and stuff. For a big man to do his work, he did actually pretty good matchup. This was a decent match. I would say it's around a C. So we see up next by far, according to me, which I predicted it on our prediction show. I felt like this was the best match of the night and come through as the best match of the night as you had a fatal four-way for the WWE Intercontinental title. You had The Miz, which is the current champion. He goes on and he goes to wrestle against Cesaro, against Sami Zayn, and against KO. KO actually didn't have a lot going on in this match as much as he typically does, but I guess
really,
guys, somebody's going to be short.
Wow.
So
KO usually steals the show.
Yeah, this was Cesaro's matchup.
Did he have did Cesaro have the electrical tape on his shoulder again?
It was red. Yeah, it was red and white.
Oh, red. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was red and white this time. He did the swing on. He did his little swing. He did his triple European uppercut thing around the ring. You had three. Everyone was in a ring corner, and he did that European uppercut. All three of them like 5 or 6 times apiece.
JBL say, "Let's go for a ride. Let's go for a ride."
Exactly. He ends up, and I think he puts but KO did his cannonball thing. Like I said, it wasn't his best matchup, because I guess Cesaro was kind of his turn, I guess, but they all put on a really good performance. It all boils down to the end. Miz ends up coming in at the end to pick up the win. It wasn't because of anything he done. He's like Edge. He's the opportunist, ultimate opportunist. And he comes in after everybody else has done the work and scraps up the win. So Miz, surprising to me, keeps the Intercontinental title in the Fatal 4-Way. So he retains that that matchup. But overall, I thought it was a really good thing tonight. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, I thought it was a really good, really good matchup. Of course, they all four could. You and I discussed that.
Now, who was the victor again?
It was Miz retaining it.
Okay, so no title change. Miz continues on. Okay.
Right. He comes in at the end of the matchup, and everybody could be beating everybody up, and he'll throw somebody out and pin. Same way this time again. So that's just how it goes, So we see it. But up next up, we have the Asylum match.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
This.
Like I said, I'm not a fan of this feud. Before you people say, "Oh, why are you saying, oh yeah, for this?" It's because I didn't like the storyline, but I like the match, the Arkham Asylum match. The final chapter, if you will, in this rubber match, or it might be the first match actually. But the match sounds good.
Well, it was decent. I'm not gonna say it was good because poor Dean falls into these hardcore matchups.
That's right, because last month their match wasn't all that good. They didn't have good chemistry. It was a miss night for them, hit or miss night. So you said this match was better than last month's.
It was decent. I'll say decent. But the only good thing was they had. I got to tell you this. It was good at some points. The spots, there wasn't a whole lot of high flying spots. But what really was the point of the match was, you remember that bucket that was high above the ring with the bob handle?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, in that bucket was this black bag. And guess what was in that black bag?
Stephanie's panties.
No, not Stephanie's panties. What did you see? In a hardcore matchup, think about it. What did they have usually in a bag?
Oh, thumbtacks.
There you go.
Thumbtacks.
Yeah. Jericho took straps to the back. You could see, dude, his whole chest and back were red as piss. It was just, he got beat. Ambrose got beat. Ambrose almost had the straight jacket, but Ambrose climbs to the top, gets this bucket. And I thought it was like water or something because he handled it kind of easy. But there was a lid on it, and he pulls out, and there's this purple-looking bag, like a dark purple velvet-looking bag. And everybody starts cheering, and I
said some thumbtacks.
And he pours them all over. Jericho sees that, man. Jericho's like, he starts running right up to try to get out of there because you can't go out through the it's an Asylum match. It's not you can leave the cage match. You can't climb over and win. You have to pin them or submit. So he pours all the tacks out, bunch of near misses with both of them almost landing on. And then Ambrose takes this dude.
No. Not a near miss, a near hit, as George Carlin would say.
Well,
when two planes come together, it's not a near miss, it's a near hit.
Well, technically it is correct because he didn't nearly miss it. He almost hit him. So you're correct in that, sir.
Mr. Carlin was correct. That's Carlin.
It was right. That's correct though. There was many near hits to where one or the other would land on it, and then Jericho tries to go for that code breaker. Ambrose catches him in midair, and I'm like, oh hell! And Ambrose goes and power bombs Jericho. Thumbtacks everywhere. He's bleeding on his arm. His back is full of.
See, ladies and gentlemen, that's one thing I'll say about the network, WWE Network era pay-per-views. It's like, the pay-per-views are hit or miss, but the matches, you can tell all the superstars bust their ass in these matches nowadays. Like, you can say the product's not that good, storylines are not that good. When you watch the pay-per-views, a lot of times the wrestling's good, but if not, you can tell they put in a lot of effort in the match here. And from what I'm hearing, it sure sounds like they put a lot of effort in this match.
Yeah. Every match has been a performance-wise a good match. They all, like you said, I agree with you 100%. They put a lot in the matches. Now, how the match turns out to people, that's different. But they do work their hardest, and this was a good, hard-fought match between Jericho and him. And anyways, Jericho gets the in his back. Ambrose does the dirty deeds face first into the tacks on Jericho. And ends up pinning Jericho. And Jericho, the doctors are out there trying to pull him out. He's throwing everybody because he don't want the doctors to pull him out. And old JBL's going, pull him out, Doc, pull him out, and because they were all on his back and his arms. He's bleeding. You could see all over the place where the thumbtack stuck in him. I mean, you imagine, dude, being slammed back with your back's exposed, the thumbtacks, and just imagine stepping on one. That hurts. But imagine.
I always think about Extreme Rules 2004. It might have been Extreme Rules when Randy Orton took the thumbtack hit bump from Mick Foley. Remember, he was on the thumbtacks and he was like, ooh, like that. That was a good match. But yeah, it's like they go all out for these pay-per-views. And last year, WWE Hell in a Cell, in Sting's second match, he went through the table and the table broke, but they forgot to remove the TV monitors, and Sting hit the back of his head and his neck area, which injured him permanently, and he had to retire. So they go all out, for B pay-per-views. But that's good. You get your $10 worth. Your $9.99's worth.
Yeah, so if nothing else, you got the pay-per-views. If nothing else to watch, it saves you on that. If you don't do nothing but buy it for that, that's a save. I mean, nobody's going to pay for it.
Dude, I think they got the best roster in years. They got the most talented roster in years.
Right.
It's just, and the matches are good. It's just some of these storylines and whatnot.
Creative.
Yeah, it's just creative. But the matches are good, and the talent, they got the best talent they can ask for.
Yeah, they do. That's very
the women's division stepped up.
Yeah. The women's match was decent, which
who won the match between Jericho, Dean Ambrose?
Ambrose. After Ambrose got the dirty deeds, he got 1, 2, 3. Jericho.
Well, see, I figured Jericho's job, as we said, is to put over new talent. That Dean Ambrose, not Dean Martin, was his project here, and he was helping him out, putting him over to establish him as your WWE superstar.
And that's
his role, yeah.
Ambrose has got 2 pay-per-view match wins back-to-back. So that's good. For years he had lost, and good crowd reaction and end up losing to the pay-per-view. So good matchup. And just like the ladies you were talking about, their match is the upcoming matchup we're going to talk about.
That's why I said that, man. There's a tie-in to it.
Yeah, you know it, dude. You know it. You know how to tie this stuff.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, I know you guys don't care, but I only seen bits and pieces of the pay-per-view because I was at work tonight. So I only seen bits and pieces of it. So that's why Bill, watched the show, and he's pretty much giving us the rundown here, and I'm pretty much reacting with it. Because I did see the main event, and Bill and I were predicting spots before they actually happened. That's how I was able to predict the upcoming women's match. I just know how the booking is. We've seen it for thousands of years now.
Exactly.
On Earth realm. Here on Earth realm, we've seen it thousands of times.
Well, that's the sad thing, man. We do this. Like I said, sometimes I miss it, and I just play it off the fly. But as long as we get it done, man, that's Team B. We pull together here.
I'm Kevin Castle tonight. No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, DT, what you say? The night.
Yeah.
Up next, folks, we have Charlotte. She is defending her women's title against none other than Natalya, and we see that feud. Ric Flair is not allowed to, even if he appears on the ramp on stage. Before he comes down, it's automatically forfeits the title. So, good matchup. Actually, good, which you can expect from Natalya. Charlotte's athletic. They both put on a good match. You know what? Okay, and it all boils down a lot of back and forth submission moves, which it was a submission match. It was a good match. All of a sudden, near the end, Ric Flair's music comes on, and she's already got Charlotte in. She already has Charlotte in the sharpshooter, but then automatically, the moment she hears Ric Flair's music, she lets Charlotte go, and she's like, "Hold my hand, ref," and it's Ric Flair, and there's the robe come down. You see him backing down the ramp, blonde hair and everything, but when he goes to turn around, it's Dana Brooke. She's dressed as Ric Flair.
That's weird.
Has his blonde wig on. Yeah, has his blonde wig on. She turns around, blonde wig on. She starts walking down the ramp.
Hashtag transgenders. Nah.
So it was cool. It was funny. So it looks like we see who's going to basically who's going to feud now with that matchup. So then Charlotte looks like she's going to win. I'm like, oh, hell, Charlotte's going to win now. But then she misses, and she bumps off Dana Brooke, but then she ends up, she ends up getting the figure 8 put on her, and Natalya does, and Charlotte gets the figure 8 put on her, and she ends up tapping out. Natalya rolls out of the ring, and then you see Dana Brooke along with Ric Flair in the ring celebrating. So we'll see some kind of alliance between Ric Flair, Dana Brooke, and Charlotte. So Natalya, yet again, we see her with another talent enhancement. She's the female Jericho as she wins up the matchup. So last but not least, folks, with quite a bit of time left in the clock, this matchup came up. It is for the WWE World Heavyweight title matchup. We have your champion, Roman Noodle Reigns, as he takes on the phenomenal AJ Styles. Good matchup, dude. We saw this. It was they went as far as going in the audience. High spot.
I support bootleg stream. WWE bootleg streams. I support that.
Bootlegs, streams. We watch it how we get it, folks. Even if you ain't got that $9.99, we make that way. We got a free subscription, not only for that, but any pay-per-view. So, yeah.
You watch that negative $9.99. Negative.
Hashtag screen share, folks. That's how we do it here. Hashtag F11 to show the screen. That's how we do it here. But we watch this matchup. Good matchup from what you saw as well. A lot of high spots. AJ takes a beating, man. I swear, you and I were discussing this during the matchup.
I know, and he's got that bad back, man, or eventually will have a bad back. That's why he contacted DDP and started DDP Yoga to help his back, man. He's took all them bumps over the years. However, like I was telling you earlier on the phone, I think he's like Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels body type. He's flexible, and I think you always have like a good way to overcome injuries and things. He's not that injury prone like a Shawn Michaels Jericho body style type. He can always come back and work with it. I think he's got another good 5-6 years left in him. You know what I mean? Because like Shawn Michaels was 50 or close to 50 wrestling the Undertaker, and he was still doing good. He's just always going to have that performer's body, the way his conditioning is and cardio and things like that.
Yeah, that's true, man, because when he wrestled over New Japan, I hardly ever remember him being injured. And when he wrestled all over the world, hashtag TNA or hashtag that Florida-based company, I never known him out of all of 10 or plus years he was with them of him really being injured at all or being out in an extended period of time. And he participated in a lot of high-flying matches there during the Ultimate X matches, Destination X matches, things like that. He participated in. So I agree with you, dude. He's got that performer's body. It's just when his matchup.
Yeah, AJ Styles was the reason I watched TNA. I still got the best of AJ Styles DVD, man. Him and the matches he had with Low Key in the X division, good stuff. And Jerry Lynn, Low Key, AJ Styles.
Yeah, Mason Red, Elix Skipper was on there. Petey Williams. Yeah, all those guys were awesome competitors in WWE. So yeah, man, I agree with you. He had some really good matches with them, and he did in New Japan. I wasn't able to follow his New Japan career, but just being in TNA and watching some of his earlier matches, he was awesome. So this was a good matchup. He took a lot. We see the ending come where, of course, the club is the first out. They all attack Roman. They do their moves on him. AJ goes for the pin. Basically, Roman kicks out at 2. Usos come out there, and they all jump on and beat the club. They all double team AJ and let Roman end up getting try to pin AJ. AJ ends up basically kicking out. AJ has basically done all he could do on the Styles Clash. Styles Clash sit on the chair. Still don't beat Roman. He goes up for that forearm, which I knew again was going to get it. Phenomenal forearm, and of course Roman being Superman 2.0, hashtag Cena 2.0. He ends up doing the spear, and 1, 2, 3, Roman Reigns wins. So you got like 10 minutes to go, and you and I are talking about it, man.
Well, if you want, ladies and gentlemen, if you want a match demonstration of Roman Reigns, this is one of the spots. Ooh, wow. It's a little demonstration.
That is exactly right, folks. If you want an exact, detailed performance, that is what you're seeing because that is exactly.
That's what you're getting for $9.99.
Oh, you didn't cock it, dude. You got to cock it first.
That's right. Got to cock it, yeah.
He cocks it first, then he does. Yeah, man. You know he's got to load that Superman punch up. So,
right. Pro guns.
So you and I were talking. We said, you know, and I told you there was potential that was known that Seth Rollins was backstage. So lo and behold, out of nowhere, the fans are cheering. Seth Rollins comes out there, hits old boy Roman Noodle Reigns with the pedigree. The fans are cheering. He's actually got gray and black on it. As he does his famous Seth Rollins laugh.
My infamous Seth Rollins laugh. I was laughing so hard when I seen that.
But
my babyface laugh is my TYT Bernie Sanders laugh. That's my babyface laugh. Anyway.
But so we see it, folks. Seth grabs the title, holds it up in front of the fans, and the fans are cheering, which I hope he's going to be a baby face. I really do. I don't want to see him come back as a heel. But
I think it's going to be like AJ and Reigns feud, babyface, tweener versus tweener type of thing. But yeah, keep him babyface though. Absolutely. I think it's going to be like the AJ Roman Reigns, tweener.
I think if they just turn Reigns heel, let AJ come, let Rollins come out, be the face. That's what fans are wanting to see. But he coming out, I like his.
Yeah.
You know, he had the black and gray color rather than that solid black, which I thought actually worked well with him, man. Because you know how he wrestled in Ring of Honor like that, NXT like that. Yeah, when he was what was his name? Something black.
Yeah.
But anyway, folks. One bit of a news WWE before we come in before we do before we come up the next Raw review or preview or whatever we want to do post show. Cody Rhodes has been among now the others that has been released by WWE.
Oh, what?
He and Goldust walked out before the SmackDown tapings.
God damn it!
And then Cody Rhodes wrote this long he's talking about how he said, you know how he said everybody was thinking that it was Cody still wanting to be Stardust and he wouldn't give up the gimmick. Well, Cody wrote in his letter, he said it was creative. He said he pushed for them to let him be Cody Rhodes, but he said everybody wanted to they told Cody to put makeup on like your brother. So that's bad. He said he tried. He said
Black.
He said he remembered being right in the ready to curtain for them the curtain to go out, and they would pull his matches right as he was waiting out in the curtain. So, as official right now, Cody Rhodes has left WWE, been released by them. Adam Rose too has been, his name and stuff and his image has been taken off the social outcast entrance now. So that must mean something.
Was he released too, or
he was suspended indefinitely?
I know, right? That's right. Okay, man. Yeah. So Stardust, Goldust, they didn't ask for their releases; they just got released.
No, Cody asked for his release. He wanted to leave, but Goldust, it says that Goldust and Cody both left before the SmackDown takings, which it wouldn't matter because Goldust is getting older anyway. He's pretty much winding down his career.
Yeah, he's been there 20 years at least in WWE. I remember Stardust and Piper had that Hollywood backlot brawl at WrestleMania 12.
With the car and stuff and all. Yeah, I remember that.
O.J. Simpson footage.
So it was good, though. I mean, his beautiful wife, Eden, she's one of the announcers. I think she does NXT, too. She said,
yes.
Very proud. And she did a tweet, says, very proud and supportive of my husband. So we don't know if WWE will do anything about that. But other than that, folks, that was a little tidbit of news along with your WWE Extreme Rules 2016 post results.
Man, yeah, that's fucked up though. The Rhodes are gone because Cody Rhodes is very talented. It's like I know they weren't doing nothing with him, but eventually I believe they would have because he was kind of like neutral, just like Randy Orton. He's just in the neutral zone, and eventually they'll do something with him. That sucks, dude.
Yeah, he was so upset at trying to he was so upset trying to.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a decent career. He was famous. He was on TV. He had that good feud with Rey Mysterio a few months back when he was the Phantom of the Opera gimmick, and he had that match with the Big Show when he was calling the Big Show fat and all that good stuff. I mean, he had a decent little run there, and he's married to a beautiful African-American woman, even though she's just American because she wasn't born in Africa that I know of. Got a beautiful wife. He lost his dad a couple of years ago, but him and his wife carry on, man. That sucks.
But he said things like, in the past 6 months, I pleaded with WWE Creative and both my bosses to let me roll the dice and once again be Cody Rhodes. I pitched to every writer on the staff like a door-to-door salesman. And believe me, there were many who sought to help me, such as Brian James, which you know is Road Dogg. JBL and Cole. He thanked them, but he said here, I'm sure that for all both head writers, he put in quotes, of Raw and SmackDown, one pretending to be Brian Gurwitz, which you know is the Raw writer, and many other too busy hitting on developmental divas continue not to return. He said this in the letter. You know, he said, I've tried to do everything possible for 10 years to make the most of both large and even half-caught ones, like paint up like your brother. See, that's where he said that.
Yeah. And don't forget his epic run in the Legacy with Orton and Ted DiBiase Jr. That was a good faction.
Yeah, they had good going on.
Yeah, that sucks, man. They should have cashed in and made him a babyface when his father passed away. He would have been the hottest babyface for a short while after his dad passed away. You know, because that was like us losing Prince when Dusty Rhodes passed away, and they should have turned him babyface then. You know.
Yeah, and that's why I said, man.
Yeah, philanthropy is the future of marketing, from what Stephanie says. So it's amazing they didn't cash in on that. But
yeah,
that's just stupid, man. Cody Rhodes, he's too young, man. He's a good talent. It's just stupid. They could have put him in NXT, but like you said, he kind of asked for it because of creative. But man, you ain't gonna see him in TNA. I hope you don't go to Global Force.
Well, I think if they can if TNA is very, and like I said on my wrap-up show,
they can't afford them.
TNA is very hit and miss with creating if they can take an old character. That took EC3. Like you said, Cody is still young. Cody is not old by no long shot, because he was talking on here about that he wrestled a lot of times. Vince gave him the chance to wrestle. So he thanked Vince, but he was so upset at things. You know, he said, he says, I'm not Dusty Rhodes, I'm Cody Rhodes. I'm a pro wrestler. I'm proud of that. He said, but it's been said, never leave money on the table, but no money is worth less than you are. And he said, that, and I'll be damned if my father's legacy is gold dust, stardust, or a series of sizzle reels for the NXT. So he just realized, he said here, I felt like I had a bag of brass rings, and when it came for time to cash me in, I find I can't do so. You know?
Yeah, that's WWE's fault. Cody just saw the writing on the wall there. You know, he just saw the writings on the wall. Got the fuck out of there. But he's still young, and he can have a good career at something else. Because I think Ted DiBiase Jr. has got a career in marketing or business somewhere. There's something he could do. Contractor.
Yeah, well, he said here, as far as the future is concerned, though, I'm a wrestler, so that's what I'll do. I'll wrestle. So that was his last quote of his.
Yeah, he seems like the type that will go to TNA and make less money just for the passion of wrestling, kind of like Kurt Angle. He would make less money, but because he loves the wrestling and loves the schedule, and then he can spend more time with his hot wife. I wouldn't be surprised if his wife left WWE in a couple of years, even though she's a good ring announcer. But
no, hey, Ryback, listen to this, man. I got this. on that site we're on that site I showed you where we watched the pay-per-view. Somebody, James Storm, Cowboy James Storm on TNA, he sent a tweet out to this is what his tweet said: "I've got some beers waiting for you, big guy." Now who do we call who's known for the big guy now? Who we see that, you know? And
that could be Gilbert 2.0 or
yeah, and he wrote hashtag feed me more during hashtag Extreme Rules if you want to see Ryborg in the Impact Zone. And then it's got the big guy at Ryback 22. I
love TNA superstars feeding off pay-per-views with their hashtags. Good way to get noticed.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to get social media. WWE is.
So you really think Ryback's going to help TNA? I mean, come on.
I think if they could see, they done the WWE.
I mean, he'll be good for the roster, but he's not going to change anything for the money he'd probably be asking for, because his complaint was money. He's not going to make that much money at TNA. He'll work for less, but he needs some humbleness before he goes there.
Well, see, what they need to do is they need to go ahead and TNA, like I speak about on my show. TNA needs to. They get these guys in. They need to make a solid foundation. Go ahead and sell out to the company trying to buy them out, where they can go ahead and actually have money.
Yeah.
They're getting behind with paying their production people, and even they still owe EY, Eric Young, and Bobby Roode six figures in money. So, I mean, Ryback would do decent, but I think that they don't need to get every single guy. To Cody Rhodes, I agree with Cody going there. If he's a younger guy, Cody still has many years. They can shape him, give him a good gimmick where it could work with him, and they could do good because they did Eric EC3 that way. Ethan Carter III. EC3 is the man in TNA.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, a job is a job. If he can make a little bit of money in TNA, and his wife makes a lot of money in WWE, and he can get his own health insurance, he's good to go. A job's a job, All power to you.
Yeah, and I'll try to stay off the TNA stuff because I know we try to do.
That's cool. But yeah, quick plug. Check out, if you're watching from my channel, subscribe to Bill Mack. He does TNA weekly reviews.
That's right.
And he does pretty good with it. And so, and if it's your first time watching this very terrible, bad show, give me a like and a sub. If you don't like it anyway, because likes help us out.
That's right.
Like grass, we need your subs as water to grow in the economy. But we really appreciate it, guys. But we just want to give you the results here, and we're pretty much going to call it a night. And I appreciate you, Bill, for coming on and being the co-host and doing a good job. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. And like I said, folks, if you're watching from my page, go over to Bullet B's page. As you'll see, he's one of my recommended channels on the side of it, on the right-hand side. Go to his page. He's got very, very important topics, philosophy. He has his own Brandon's YouTube show. He's got a lot of stuff going on. Go check over his
Brandon's network of shows.
Yeah,
it's smart if you're into comedy or serious philosophy, or if you're into politics, news stories, if you're into wrestling, we touch on everything. So there's got to be a playlist of shows for you on Brandon's network. Be my 105th subscriber right now. help me build, help me grow here.
That's
help
right.
Bill out, most importantly. And we appreciate it, guys. And everyone, take care.